Hello everyone, and welcome back to another movie review, this time filmed during the day. So, the lighting's a bit better, and the recording quality is a bit better because the light isn't on. Yes. And, as promised, this video will be the next in my line of DVDs, and so... Well, it's not this film as explained before. The charity shop that I got this film from, because it's cheap. So it is Avengers Age of Ultron. It's just not. It's just in a different box, so I can't read the blurb of this one. I'm going to have to rely solely on Wikipedia for this. That should be good. So, Avengers Age of Ultron was released. Now, let's see where it was released. It was released on the... May the 1st, 2015. So, earlier than Ant-Man, about 3 years earlier. But around the same time, month-wise. And, yes, the budget for this film was between $444 and $495.2 million. And that's gross, and $365 million in net. And at the box office, they earned $1.403 billion. So quite a lot of money. This film, the cast for this film, well, is directed by Joss Whedon, who did the first Avengers film, which we'll talk about at some other point. He also did, I'm pretty sure he's the director of Buffy. And he's done like an episode of Community. He's done an episode of Glee. He's quite a famous director. Although he's the creator of Buffy as well. Yes. It was written by him as well, produced by Kevin Feige again. Yes. And the cast is... Well, some of the cast will be on this box, so I can just go through it. It's Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, as seen here. Chris Hemsworth as Thor, as seen here. Mark Ruffalo as Hulk, as seen here, but there's no picture of normal Hulk in this film. Chris Evans is Captain America, so that man there. You have Scarlett Johansson, who is this lady here, Black Widow, and as I said, and then Hawkeye, who's there, which is Jeremy Renner. And the other cast members in this film are Don Cheadle, who plays War Machine, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, who is Quicksilver, but this version of Quicksilver, not the X-Men version, because they're separate things. Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch, or rather Wanda Maximoff, as she's known as in this film. Paul Bettany is Vision. Well, Jarvis and Vision. At the start of the film is Jarvis, by the end is Vision. Kobe Smulders is Agent Maria Hill, who's an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Anthony Mackie, who is Falcon, who first turns up in Captain America the Winter Soldier. Hayley Atwell is Peggy, and Peggy only turns up in a small little side bit, like midway through. I'll explain that when we get to it. Idris Elba is in another of those, side things. He plays Heimdall, who is the all-knowing god guy. Stellan Skarsgård, he turns up in the side bit as well. He plays Eric Selvig, who is like a scientist man who kind of went a bit mad after the first Avengers film. James Spader plays Ultron, whose name is in the movie. And Ultron is this big robot, and he wants to destroy mankind because he thinks it's the best option. And Samuel L. Jackson as the final cast member as Nick Fury, who is the main lead guy on it. Yeah, this is a sequel to the original. This film was the second most at the time, it was the second most expensive film ever made. I think Titanic was more expensive, but yeah. So, the plot of this movie. We're already 5 minutes in, we're just at the plot. Oh no. So, basically, at the start, all the Avengers are in Sokovia, which is like a fake country. It's like a made-up Eastern European country. So you have Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow and Hawkeye. They raid this Hydra facility because they're looking for Loki's scepter, which was taken after the first film. Like, it went missing and was stolen by members of Hydra, who we'll get onto. And this guy called Baron von Strucker, he's got a monocle. And while trying to steal it, this is where they meet Quicksilver, Pietro and Wanda who's Pietro, who has superhuman speed, and Wanda Maximoff, who is telepathic and has magic powers. And so, yeah. And after this, they go home. Stark and Banner start to work on an artificial intelligence using the gem in the scepter. And this is where Stark wants to create Ultron. As he says, peace in our time, he wants to create something that will stop wars. Which is good in a way, but flawed in the way that this film deals with it, which is the whole point, I guess. The unexpectedly sentient Ultron believes he must eradicate humanity to save Earth, as I said earlier. And so he eliminates Stark's AI Jarvis and absorbs him, and absorbs all his knowledge, and attacks the Avengers at their headquarters during a party, which is where Stan Lee turns up. Escaping with the scepter, Ultron uses resources in Sokovia to upgrade his rudimentary body. So his body's a bit destroyed at the start, and he makes it more shamey when he goes to Sokovia, and builds an army of robot drones. He kills Strucker, recruits the Maximoff twins, who holds Stark responsible for their parents' deaths because one of his weapons killed their family. And then goes to Ulysses Claw, played by Andy Serkis, in Johannesburg, so he can get some vibranium, which is a rare metal in the Marvel Universe. It's what Cap's shield is made of, and it's what Black Panther... There's stuff to do with Wakanda and stuff, which I'll get to when we review that film. The Avengers attack Ultron and the Maximoff. Wanda subdues them with haunting visions. And the haunting visions is where Peggy, Heimdall, and Eric Selvig turns up afterwards. And you have that happen, and Black Widow also has a vision of the Red Room, which is where she was trained as a child, which comes up in Black Widow, the movie. Yes. Yes, and she manipulates the Hulk. Well, she manipulates Banner to turn to the Hulk, and Stark stops him with his anti-Hulk armour, which is the Hulkbuster armour. The big blind man. That one. To turn to the Hulk and rampage until Stark stops him. Yeah. Worldwide backlash over the resulting destruction and the fears Wanda's hallucinations incited send the team into hiding at Barton's farmhouse. Also, towards the beginning of the film, Tony has a vision of all the Avengers dead. Like, Wanda makes him have a vision. And this is just before he gets the scepter later on, like, during the beginning scene. I forgot to mention that. Thor departs to consult with Eric Selvig on the apocalyptic future he saw, while Nick Fury arrives to the Barton farmhouse, which is Hawkeye's family. And it's where they're introduced. Nick Fury arrives and encourages the team to form a plan to stop Ultron. In Seoul, Ultron uses Loki's scepter to enslave Helen Cho, who is the team's friend. they use her synthetic tissue technology, vibranium and the Scepter's gem to craft a new body. As Ultron uploads himself into the body, Wanda is able to read his mind, discovering his plan for human extinction, and the Maximovs turn on Ultron at that point. And as that's happening, Captain America, Black Widow, and Hawkeye fight him and retrieve the body, but Ultron captures Black Widow. The Avengers fight among themselves when Stark and Banner secretly upload Jarvis into the body. And he's been hiding Jarvis has been hiding in the internet for a bit. That's how he was able to survive. And so he goes into they put him into the body that they recovered. And everyone's arguing, saying, you shouldn't do this. This is exactly one with Ultron. This one will be more powerful because they put the gem on it. And the gem's powerful because it's an Infinity Stone. It's the Mind Stone. It's the yellow one. That'll be important. Actually, no. I've already done the Avengers things. You already know why that's important. Yeah. Thor returns to help activate the body based on his vision that the gem on its brow is one of the Infinity Stones. And Vision earns their trust by being worthy of lifting Thor's hammer. And at this point, Vision and the Maximovs help the Avengers in Sokovia, and they build a machine. Ultron is using a machine to lift Sokovia, or the capital city of Sokovia, skyward, so it's rising up. And if it crashes into the ground, it'll kill everyone. Banner rescues Romanoff, who awakens the Hulk for the battle, and this is the film where Hulk and Black Widow have a romance of sorts. The Avengers fight Ultron's army while Fury arrives in a helicarrier with Maria Hill, James Rhodes and S.H.I.E.L.D. agents to evacuate civilians. Pietro dies when he shields Barton from gunfire, and a vengeful Wanda abandons her post to destroy Ultron's primary body, which allows one of his drones to activate the machine. The city plummets, but Stark and Thor overload the machine and shatter the landmass. So basically, they get everyone off and then blow it up. In the aftermath, the Hulk, unwilling to endanger Romanoff by being with her, departs in a Quinjet, so Hulk, as Hulk, flies off, which will be important later as well. While Vision confronts and destroys Ultron's last remaining body. Later, the Avengers, having established a new base run by Fury, Hill, Cho and Selvig, Thor returns to Asgard to learn more about the forces he suspects have manipulated major events, which will lead into Thor Ragnarok. As Stark leaves and Barton retires, Rogers and Romanoff prepare to train new Avengers: Rhodes, Vision, Sam Wilson, and Wanda. And then in the mid-credit scene, Thanos dons a gauntlet and vows to retrieve the Infinity Stones himself. And he goes, what does he say? I'll do it myself. Yeah. Iron Man is still dealing with his PTSD. That is important. There's loads of stuff about what the characters have been going through, but because I haven't gone through the other films. I mean, I could have done them first, but I like doing it in thingy order. Ultron is kind of a bit like Frankenstein. Here we are. Thomas Kretschmann and Henry Goodman reprise their roles as Von Strucker and Dr. List, who are Hydra leaders. Linda Cardellini portrays Laura Barton, who people will know as the film version of Velma from Scooby-Doo. Here we are. Andy Serkis portrays Ulysses Claw. Josh Brolin makes an uncredited appearance as Thanos because of this, and Tom Hiddleston was apparently going to reprise his role as Loki, but they cut his scene that it was going to be it. Yes, so this film was very successful, and yeah, it's very important. Like this kind of, yeah, where we are. Disney spent $360.6 million on Avengers Age of Ultron from February 2013 to November 2014, so that's only a year. Indicated a gross budget of $444 million, and it makes the film the second most expensive film ever made. The most expensive film ever made is currently Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, which apparently had a budget of $378.5 million. Whereas The Hobbit has the most back-to-back most expensive. The executives apparently were not thrilled with the scenes at Hawkeye's farm. Yeah, there's bits of issues with... Like, my personal opinion was that this film was very... I thought everyone doesn't like Age of Ultron for some reason, because they think it kind of... It's not as... Yeah, people think it's not as good as the first one. And I think that it is just as good in the fact that Age of Ultron has a lot of comedic... Like, it has, I'd argue, more comedy moments than in the original. Like, a lot of the jokes landed more. Like, the whole party scene at the beginning, the whole... They're making fun of Captain America saying language when Iron Man swears. Which it... Yeah. What I'm going to find... Bom bom bom. Had its world premiere at the Dolby Theatre on April 13th, 2015, and the European premiere was on April the 21st. And Avengers Age of Ultron is part of Phase 2. However, even though you'd think it'd be the end of Phase 2, like how the first Avengers film is the end of Phase 1, it's weird that Ant-Man is the end of Phase 1, is Phase 2 rather, not Avengers, even though Avengers kind of should in a way. Reception, here we are, grossed $459 million in the United States and Canada, $943.8 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $1.03 billion, and it's the sorry about that. For some reason I stopped speaking weirdly. For a worldwide total of $1.403 billion, becoming the 5th highest grossing film of all time. Age of Ultron's worldwide opening of that was the 7th largest ever. It became the 21st film in cinematic history and to cross the $1 billion threshold at the box office. Which is good, but... reviews, here we go. Rotten Tomatoes reported an approval rating of 76%. I think a lot of people reviewed it as stuff that goes wrong and stuff. There we are. In December 2015, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences placed Avengers Age of Ultron on their shortlist of potential nominees for the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. However, it was not nominated for that award. It was nominated for a few Teen Choice Awards. And Chris Evans... Sorry, I'm just getting some messages. Chris Evans got an award for Choice Movie for Scene Stealer. Okay. I don't know if it won any, not proper award. Well, yeah, proper award. And technically, Infinity War and Endgame are sequels to this, because technically that's how it worked in a way. And there's a what if episode that kind of changes the events of this film, which is the episode called What If Ultron Won, which it's basically what if Ultron was able to his destroy the Earth thing worked, and then so it kind of deals with the fact that Ultron's taken over the world, and then Thanos turns up in 2018 looking for the stone, and because Vision and Ultron have Ultron uploaded Vision into himself, and Vision has the time stone, what Ultron does is he kills Thanos and then just takes all the stones. And that is the episode where the multiverse starts to break down in the what if thing. And yeah, so yeah, so that is Age of Ultron. I really enjoyed the film. It's a very good film. I recommend if you haven't seen it. Well, if you haven't seen it, then you probably haven't seen any of the others, so go watch them. But yes, next time in this little video, we shall be reviewing the proper Avengers film. Yes. Because that's next alphabetically. So I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry for rambling for too long, and farewell.